two ledgers account, and mind it, these both the GL account are alternative reconciliation accounts. So how would be creating this? Let's move on to the SAP screen. FS00. Now these advance which we'll be making to vendors will be a part of what? Asset, liabilities, or balance, profit and loss account, or what? So it's basically a part of loans and advances in balance sheet under assets, because you are making an advance payment to the vendor, which is a part of an asset. If he doesn't deliver the things to you, he is liable to return the money back to the company. So this is basically a current assets, loans and advances. So seems it's working slow. Let's log in another screen. So we'll be moving first to FS00. Now we need to create assets under the head current assets, or you can say under the head assets. So for that you need to go and you have to search which next number range is free to be used under assets. So there's already 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 till 5, it's already there. So we'll be creating 6 and 7 as advance for revenue vendors and advance for capital vendors. So moving next to is 6, you can go to this new option over here, and now this is a part of asset account because we are opening advance for revenue, which is a part of balance sheet under the head assets. So the short for text advance to revenue vendor. So that is it. The space is limited in this. Now you can write the full over here, advance to revenue account. Now moving to the control data in this, the GL which we are creating over here is basically alternative reconciliation account. So whenever we take any reconciliation account, we take this particular field, reconciliation for account type. Account type means for which type of account you are creating this reconciliation. So we discussed earlier, account type is basically of 4 types: A for asset, D for customer, K for vendor, S for GL. So we need to select out of this for which we are creating this. So this is basically a part of vendor. We'll be selecting the vendor, and then we have to select the line item display. So this is how you would be filling up the different details on the vendor master creation. Then moving to the next screen, we discussed that the field status group for any reconciliation account is 1, that is reconciliation account. So you can search that again in the screen, that we see that there is another field status group been defined. This is it, and for any reconciliation account you are supposed to use G067. So this is how you would be creating your GL account for for advance to revenue vendors. Save it and your GL will be created. Okay, so you can see your GL has been created and it has been saved under the footnote. Now we'll be creating the next GL, that is advance for capital assets. So moving next, I would be creating 7, and I know that the 6 GL is very much similar to the 7th. So what I can do is I can copy that. So I can copy that GL over here, as a template can be copied. So you should know which GL you want to get copied to this, and the company code. So when you take this, enter, it will copy the details of 100006 GL. You can see the G067 is already selected. Moving to the description, you can see the asset and the balance sheet account is already selected. So over here we need to change, that is capital vendors, and over here it will be capital vendors account. So this is what you need to do. You can even copy with the reference. Control data, you can check that everything is very much similar and same. So now we can save the document, and your second GL master account has been created. So as per the screen, we have created 2 GL account. One is advance to revenue vendor and second is advance to capital vendor. So this is how you need to do. Now moving up to the next step is define alternative reconciliation account for vendor down payment. Now here we will be assigning that 2 GL account which we just created as alternative reconciliation account for the vendor down payment, and at the same time over here we'll be creating the special GL indicator. So now let's move with the path. There are 2 options, so we'll be going with the path SPRO IMG screen, then financial accounting new, account receivable and accounts payable. Then we need to go for the vendor, so we have to go for business transactions. Now over here we are making down payment, we are not receiving the down payment, so it is down payment made. So we shall go for this expend. Now after expanding, you can see that the very second tab over here, second option is define alternative reconciliation account for down payment. So over here we'll be defining our reconciliation account for down payment to vendors. So we can click on this, explore. Now you can see these are certain down payments which are already defined in the system. These are by default from the SAP company itself for the software. However, no GL account has been assigned in this. So you can see account type is K. K means vendor. So you can only define the special GL indicators over here for vendors transactions only. Now there are a couple of indicators already there, you can see, and the description against that is also given to you, that for A it is down payment on current assets, B it is down payment financial asset down payment, C is for down payment request. So this down payment, then again I is for intangible down payment. So what I would be doing is I will create 2. Either you can use the same which is already over here. So to use the same you need to double click on any of them, and when you will double click it will ask you your chart of account. Once you fill your chart of account you can enter. It will take you to the next screen. This is it. So over here what we do is we assign the reconciliation account. Now this reconciliation account means the reconciliation account which is assigned in the vendor master account. So if you want to make any advance payment to a particular vendor, so that particular vendor's reconciliation account need to be assigned over here, and in this particular second column we need to fill the alternative reconciliation account, that is the one we just created, that is advance for revenue vendor or advance for capital vendor. So this is the only 2 things which you are supposed to do, so that only it will get substituted by each other when we make any down payment. So this is it. Now moving next, what I will be doing is I will not be using this. I would be creating my own spatial GL indicators. So for that, what I can do is I can okay. So let's move and create our own. So for creating our own, you need to put the GL indicator which you want to create. So I need two. One is for revenue vendor, one is for capital vendor. So for revenue vendor I will take with R, and for capital vendor I will take with C. So suppose I take C over here, I can put the name over here as revenue so it will be okay, let it be revenue vendor. Whereas on the another side you can write the full description, advance to revenue vendors. So this is what the description which you are filling, which is already you can see on the upper side is been reflected. So once you fill this detail, continue. Now after continuing, you can move and you can see that this another screen has came up to you. So over here you need to mark this commitment warning only, nothing else. Once you did this, now we'll move to assign the account. Now moving to assign the account, you need to save first. So you will save to first. It will ask you to copy the things to the request. So if you want, you can have it in the same request, else you can go to this. If you already have an existing, so I am already have an FICO configuration over here, I can save these configuration changes to this request as well. So double click this and it will be selected and then continue. So I have created one indicator. So you can see the indicator is already there with the description. Now I can move and I can put my reconciliation account over here and the spatial GL indicator over here. So how now spatial GL indicator I already know. I can just go through this. So we can move to this reconciliation account. We can have a list of the ledger account from which we can decide which reconciliation has to be assigned over here. So as of now I have my vendors, so I have only one vendor reconciliation account, that is domestic vendor group. So I will be selecting it, and on the other hand I will be taking the alternative reconciliation. So I think I've done a mistake. I took C and I put it as R revenue. So what I can do now is I can move back. I did a mistake, so I need to first delete it again. So you can delete it with this. Yes. Now it will be again saved with the request. Now I want to go back and create again. So will the system allow me to create this or not? So let's see. So it allows me. I need to assign this, then I need to save it. So the changes will be saved. Now I will move to this accounts. Oh, again I have not changed the revenue. So sorry. So making the request errors. Okay.